Good morning, students. Division of sectors as organized and unorganized. This is our today's topic. This is a very important topic as far as your board exams are concerned. You must try to understand what is an organized sector and what is unorganized sector. I would also advise you, students, to put your experience or put your problems or your questions in the comment section of the YouTube. This will give me an idea about your specific perspectives towards the videos and how much you understand, and if there are any problems you can put up there. Also, I would like to make it very clear to you that nowadays if I upload a video of 720 pixels on the YouTube, it is reduced to a very lower grade in terms of quality. So you all need to refer to your books or PDFs when you are listening to the videos. This will help you a lot because these videos are not clear. Since you have books, I am also mentioning you the page numbers. Please look up into your books or into your PDFs along with audios of these audio visuals. Moving on to the topic directly, I will first take up the organized sector. Students, organized sector is the one which is actually registered by the government. We are talking about any organization being registered by the government. It can be a school, it can be a college, it can be an office, a multinational, a company, anything. How they are registered? For example, let's take Al Barakat Institute. It is a registered institute. The people who own it has got it registered. So it is under the category of organized sector. And then if you talk about a company, for example, in Aligarh, there are so many locks firms. They all got themselves registered to carry on the production on such a large scale. Moving on to the example in your books, if you see at the top there is a lady who is working, seems to be working in an office. So we will analyze the situation of an organized activity or an organized employment. I will tell you beforehand that she's actually working in organized company. She's a part of organized sector. So look at her situation. She comes to the office, her timings are fixed. So this is true for a particular organized sector, that their company or whatever school which is registered, they have a fixed timings to follow. Salary regularly at the end of every month. So the teachers who are teaching you in Al Barakat, since it is a registered institute, teachers get their salary at the end of every month. Salary, along with that, they are given the provident fund. What is provident fund? These are a kind of savings which is a part of a salary. It is as per the rules which are laid down by the government. Government has decided it. If any firm is registered with the government, it has to give PF to its employees. She gets medical and other allowances. So this is also mandatory by the government. An organized firm, organized sector, in organized sector, the institutes, the schools, the colleges, the firms, the uh, companies, they need to provide their employees with employee security in the form of ESI. This is the medical security. They have a card made, and they can go to such hospitals, and they can get the treatment done on the basis of that particular ESI cards. She gets leaves. This is also a characteristics of organized sector. They got leave on Sunday. They got leave on holidays. Like Eid, it was a leave to the faculty also. So these are paid holidays, means their salary is paid even if this is a holiday, this is a paid holiday. So they get paid holiday. Joint work, she was given an appointment letter. This is characteristics. When you go for a company which is registered within the government, they will give you surely an appointment letter that will talk about your particular salary, and what is your basic salary, what is your in hand salary, and many other further. Your salary is divided into so many other things which is told to you beforehand. So this is, we talked about organized sector, the which is registered by the government. Now, at the bottom of the picture, you see a man holding something in his hands. There are buckets, and then there is a person sitting at a shop. So this man who is holding some stuff, his name is Kamal, and he is working in an unorganized sector. So he is working for a shopkeeper. Okay, he is a daily wage laborer. This particular shop is not registered with the government. Okay, so this is a grocery shop. Now, if we see the situation of a person working at a place which is not registered with the government, we'll see a situation. What are his timings? He's coming so early in the morning, like 7:30 till 8 o'clock in the evening. He is not given any benefit. He has no PF account. He has no medical allowance. He has no paid holiday. He has no holidays, working on Sundays also. Na? If you see a grocery shop, it is all open on all days. And the labor is working on every day. If labor is taking a leave on any day, his owner is going to cut his salary for that day. So he is not getting any paid leave. So you see, he is not given any kind of letter also that you are employed here. No formal letter is given to this person, as in case of organized it is given. That is a proof that you are working at that place, but this person has no proof. What does it show? This shopkeeper can throw him out of job at any point, whenever he wills. He will just throw him out of the job. So there is no job security in this case. But when you have an appointment letter, you carry on with the probation period. Then afterwards, the company, it also gives you a notice before throwing you out of the job in organized sector. Maybe a 1 month notice or 2 month notice, depending on different companies' terms and conditions at the time of employment. So they give you time, they cannot just throw you like that. So this is the difference in organized and unorganized. At the bottom this is what given: Kanta work in organized sector covers those enterprises, a place of work where the terms of employment are regular. Terms of employment are regular. They, the people, they are given the regular salary every month. The salary is also fixed at the time of appointment. And after every year, there is some increment also. Regular salary, secure job with increment also, and secured in the sense without reason you will not be thrown out of it. There must be some reason if you are being given a notice to leave the company. These are to follow the government laws, various rules and regulation. What are these regulations? Factories Act, Minimum Wage Act, payment of gratuity. What is gratuity here? Factories Act means there has to be some norms which need to be followed in the factories if it is registered with if it is organized sector. What are the norms? Like there should be safe drinking water available to them, human conditions to work in, there should not be inhuman conditions in which they are working. So many things are there which takes care of their health, their safety is being taken care of in this under the Factories Act. Minimum wage act is government has decided that you cannot pay less than this amount, you have to pay above it, this much or more than that. So this is known as basic minimum wage act. What is gratuity? When a person is working in a firm for last 5 years, he has completed 5 years. Now under the gratuity act, some amount of money is always every month put into his retirement fund. When he will retire from that company, he will get that retirement fund. Okay, so that is under the gratuity act. Shops and Establishments Act, this act is specifically for the shops who got registered with the government. So if you see, there are so many positive things in the organized sector. Okay, there is job which is better than the unorganized sector. If you see, the working hour is less, the salary is more, the more security, safety, better health conditions, medical safety, allowances, paid holidays. Why a person would work in unorganized sector? If he get an opportunity, he will obviously better off by working in organized sector. Why do the person goes to unorganized? Because of lack of opportunities, lack of education, lack of skills. These are the probable reasons because of which a person is not able to get an employment in the organized sector. Now, workers in organized sector, they enjoy the security of employment, which I have already told you. Expected to work only fixed number of hours. If they work more, they are paid overtime. This is also a characteristics of organized sector. Then they get several benefits, holidays, leaves, gratuity, PF, medical benefits. We have already discussed safe working environment, drinking water. They retire, they get pension. Retirement gratuity fund I'm talking about here. Moving on to the next sector where Kamal is working, which is known as unorganized sector. I'm moving on page number 31 here. So, what are the characteristics? It is not registered with the government. There is no control of the government. No government rules, regulations. We have discussed so many acts. These acts are not followed. People are paid less. They are not paid regular. There is no overtime. There is no holiday. And so many different characteristics which are not there. Employment is not secure. He can throw you out of job anytime. So sometimes when there is less work, these people may be asked to quit the job. So this sector includes a large number of people who are employed on their own, doing small jobs such as selling on the street, doing repair work. Farmers work on their own and hire laborers. So in these cases, it is very difficult for the government to oversee such things, and that is why they remain unorganized, and they remain not registered with the government because of the nature of this sector. It is very difficult for the government to see each and every area, each and every employment. Even these people are paid in cash. They are not even paid in card or paid in accounts. So there is no data available about their employability, about their salaries. Nothing is known by the government. Now moving on to the let's work out. Look at the following. You will find out which is unorganized. Okay. Next is talk to someone regular job in organized and another who works in unorganized. Compare and contrast. So this you can do. This is a discussion type of thing. You can talk to these people and you can ask them different questions that come to your mind. How would you distinguish between organized and unorganized? Explain in your own words. So this is very important, and this if I am not wrong, this is also given in back exercise, same question. So we will not do it twice. We will only do it once. We will put a line in between and we will put organized on one side or unorganized on one side, and then we write down the differences. They have regular salaries, they do not have regular salary. They have job security, they do not have job security. They are registered by the government, they are not registered. They get paid leave and paid holidays. They do not get any Sundays or paid holidays. They get PF medical benefits, they do not get any PF medical benefits. So we have so many reasons of comparisons between the two that we can write down. Now there is a table given. You need to find out the people in the unorganized sector. You need to calculate. You can calculate this percentage in your books only, table 4. If you find difficulty, please put in the comment box of any of the PDFs being shared with you. Any PDF, any problem, put in the comment box your questions. Okay. How we can protect the workers on page number 32 in case of unorganized sector. We know they are vulnerable. We know that these people are working in the shops and different places which are not registered by the government, which are not following any norms and rules. They are at the mercy of their owners for whom they are working. So, what can be done so as to protect these people? What can the government do to help them? Actually, first of all, we know the reason why they are not employed in the organized sector, because at times they are not educated, or at times even if they are educated, there are not enough job opportunities in the organized sector. But we see it is increasing, employment is increasing. So organized sector, we find out in itself, they sometimes employ the people who they don't show to the government, and they want to evade the taxes. They don't want to protect these laborers, they want to pay them less. So at times these people are at assault. So because of various reasons, because sometimes organized sector is not recognizing them employed or not giving them job at all, they have to work in the unorganized sector. They are forced to work there. Very low salary they are getting, and also they are exploited in the unorganized sectors. Since 1990, second paragraph, large number of workers losing their jobs in organized sector. So they are also entering in the unorganized sector. So these were the reasons why people actually go to the unorganized sector and work there. Who are the people who are vulnerable, who need protection? Especially if you talk about rural areas, we talk about landlords, we talk about some landowners who are actually exploiting the agriculture, small marginal laborers. How they are exploiting them? Because they are paying them less and they are getting their work done, and they are also not providing them any regular job. These farmers need to be supported by providing them seeds, other inputs, loans, storage and transportation facilities. This is all they require. In urban areas, unorganized sector, mainly the workers who are working in small scale industries, in construction, transport, all these street vendors, these rag pickers, all these people are in unorganized sector. So these are the people who need to be protected in urban areas. There are scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward communities who are also working in unorganized sector. They are also discriminated along with the other things they face there. So they need to be protected, they need to be supported, so that they can really come out of their situation. So students, go through this topic again, and I see many of you are not regular in watching your videos. You need to watch all your educational video audio visual lectures, because they are very important for your studies and they are very important for understanding the topics. So this is the end of this topic. Take care, have a good day. and keep on studying, study well.